Welcome to the Webby O'Neill channel. Newcastle United 2, Manchester United 0. Kieran, your overall thoughts on that performance and scoreline today?
Yeah, disappointing result, disappointing performance, slipped down into fourth place now, levelling points with Newcastle who are in at third spot. But I'm surprised by the performance and the result deep down. No, I'm not, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
We're obviously missing Eriksen and Casemiro, who are big players for Manchester United in that midfield. And when you go into places like Newcastle, with the crowd behind them like you've seen today, also fighting for that top four spot, it doesn't surprise me. But I was surprised by the lack of effort, I suppose, with some of the players on the pitch today, particularly in the first half and overall in 90 minutes. You know, you can go on about Weghorst, who a lot of people are talking about, that we're talking about in commentary. Let's have it right, he's not a centre-forward, but we've been getting through games with his work rate and his overall play because we've got Marcus Rashford and other players who've been chipping in goals and putting the ball in the back of the net. We know Weghorst ain't going to do that. And when you've got players like Marcus Rashford today, who I can't remember really anything Marcus Rashford done of note, to be quite honest with you. That's what happens because you've not got the others in your team like your Eriksen and Casemiro who'll be able to create things for other players or even score a goal themselves.
That has to go down as Ten Hag's worst performance. Under Ten Hag since he's been here. They were outplayed and outfought. Is that how you've seen the whole game, or was it just bits of the 90 minutes?
I'd say the worst performance was obviously at Anfield not too long ago, and with you talking about performances, you know, you're looking at our results away from home against the top 6, the top 9. We've still got a couple of them to play as well away from home. It is a little bit of a worry because we are fighting for that top 4 spot. We're level on points, like I said, with Newcastle. We've got Tottenham, we've got Brighton as well, who've still got to play it away from home and in the FA Cup. So it is a little bit of a worry for me. But on the plus side, you know, you've got players who have come back today, like Anthony Martial. We've still got Casemiro to come back from that suspension. He's going to be suspended for Brentford and Everton next week, but it couldn't come soon enough for me for him to come back. Plus Christian Eriksen. So it's not all doom and gloom. A poor performance today, but as we've seen with other results in the past and recently, we can bounce back, Manchester United.
Well, it was 0-0 at half-time. Did you expect something to happen, a reaction from that performance in the first half? What happened? Did the subs work?
Well, to be honest with you, even with the starting 11, you know, you look at Scott McTominay. I know he had a good international break with Scotland, and that's probably why he got the nod over Fred today. But for me, you know, he was putting that number 10 role for when we've not got the ball to do a job on that Bruno Guimaraes and, you know, other players in that midfield. And he didn't really get at it today, Scott, but I can't stand there and slate him because that's not his role in the team. Like you said earlier on, he looked a lot more comfortable when he was dropped back into midfield. But for me, Fred should have started. He should have started. You take yourself back to that Man City game when we beat him at Old Trafford only a couple of 3 months ago. Your man Mark De Bruyne completely out the game, Fred. And, you know, when you look at Fred of what he's got in his locker, that's one of the best attributes he's got. Man marking, his work rate, his energy, and he's getting about and putting tackles in. And I thought that tactic Ten Hag tried to employ today, it failed, and it should have been Fred for me. It's all right for me to sit here now and say it after the game that it didn't work. Ten Hag works with all his players each and every day in training, so he must have seen something in there why Scott got the nod today. But to me, yeah, a bit of a mad one for me.
One shot on target. What happened with the midfield and the forwards? They didn't seem to link up. There was no urgency. There was no keeping the ball. It's as though no one knew what to do. They weren't communicating. Yeah. Is that how you see that?
Yeah, it's like going to a match day. You work on it in training, don't you? So, again, I'm not too sure after watching that game because they didn't really see any type of, you know, patterns of play, any style of play really today. It was all just like, you know, kick the ball, kick it up there. And then there was like no end product at all. But then again, the centre forwards, you know, you had like Rashford on the left, Weghorst, you had Anthony, who really I thought was our brightest spark. He didn't get everything right, but you felt if something was going to happen, it was going to go through him. And
the outball.
Yeah, the outball kind of thing. And I thought he would be disappointed coming off in my eyes. I know I would be, especially coming off of Jadon Sancho, who come on today and give absolutely nothing. And I hope you ask me about him later on in the video. But, you know, you look at our fullbacks as well in Luke Shaw and Delo. they're a shadow of the former selves and what we've seen earlier on in the season, bombing up and down that left, bombing up and down that right. Now, Delow's never been the same player for me since he's come back from the World Cup. I know he had that injury, but he's still not got back onto that level of what we've seen where we thought, yeah, hang on a minute, this Delow, he could be the first choice right back for Manchester United for many years because of some of the performances that he was putting in. But we're just not seeing that from him. And Luke Shaw again today, for me, we've discussed it. He's looking leggy to me. These last 3 to 4 weeks, he is looking a little bit leggy, Luke Shaw. And, you know, especially in that first half.
Is he not going forward, right, working with Rashford like he was earlier on in the season?
Yeah.
Because there's no running, there's no partnership down there. Is that how you see that? And which is not giving the attack any help. No movement, no nothing. Is that how you see it?
I've said it earlier in the season. Obviously, you had Eriksen and Casemiro in their fantastic partnership in the middle of their good, strong spine of the team with Varane and Martinez as well at the back. And, you know, in terms of partnerships, I thought Luke Shaw and Rashford earlier in the season, it was the best partnership. It was just like they just knew where each of them were going to play the ball. And it seems to have just gone out the window for me in like recent weeks. We have gone and got some good results, don't get me wrong, you know, in the Europa League especially and in the FA Cup. But over the last few weeks in the league, it's just looking a little bit flat. It's looking a little bit stale. And hopefully, you know, when Eriksen comes back into the team, hopefully Martial can get up to match fitness. You know, they're going to be the sparks that we need to finish us off in a strong finish till the end of the season.
Weghorst clearly did not have a good game today for many reasons.
Yeah.
Martial's fit, came on as sub, had a run around. Is that the change what's needed?
Yeah, I think Erik ten Hag
going forward.
Yeah, I think Erik ten Hag, from what I remember in his press conferences, has said Manchester United are a much better team with Anthony Martial in it, and I do agree with that because Anthony Martial will give you goals. Martial can hold the ball up. You know, when the ball's played into his feet, he's one of the best on the half turn to then go and run at defenders, create something and can dribble with the ball. So I think it's an easy one for us all to say. Let me know if you think otherwise, but I'd want Anthony Martial in my team over Weghorst. But, you know, at the same time, you're looking at that first half today as well, and you know, they were all just coming down our left-hand side, weren't they? You had, like, Jacob Murphy, you had Bruno Guimaraes, you know, Longstaff, even Trippier. They were all just overloading our left-hand side. And when we were talking about...
Did Rashford not help back there?
Well, not really. They didn't do enough. But, you know, when we were talking earlier on about what they're doing in training all week because they didn't see no patterns of play, Eddie Howe must have looked at it and expected Wan-Bissaka to start at right back today because he must have got flashbacks of his 45 minutes, what he'd done at Wembley. He absolutely just bullied Saint-Maximin off the ball time and time again. So they'd worked on something in training and thought, well, we're going to get more joy this time down our left-hand side. And it proved, and it worked for him for the majority of the game today.
Yeah, listen, it was a poor performance. Let's hope they can kick it out of the system because there's some big games coming up. The next 2 games, Brentford at home, Everton. So let's just hope. Now, before we finish, anything else?
Yeah, well, to me...
Top 4 a problem?
It's a massive problem. Listen, I love my club, I back my club, and, you know, your heart always says, like, look, we'll always make that top 4. You know, we'll always win a game. You go into every game thinking you can win it, but... You know, you're looking on that performance today. You look over the course of the season as well with our away fixtures. The good thing is our home form. Old Trafford is a fortress, and we've been picking up largely 3 points every single time. And you know that is a positive for Man United. And we've got players still to come back. Our first choice players, like we keep saying, Eriksen, Casemiro, Martial, if he can stay fit. So there is positives there, but a real poor performance today. And even with Erik ten Hag and his staff today, you know, he's brought Martial and in particular Jadon Sancho to come on. There's no excuses now for Jadon Sancho. No excuses whatsoever. The man management that Erik ten Hag's give him, it's been top class. He's had enough games now with little cameo appearances, starts that he's been giving him recently in the league. There's no excuses. And for me, he come on today and you want Jadon Sancho to make an impact. We're losing, you know, we're away to Newcastle. You want these players to stand up, stand tall, create something, do something in the game.
Fight.
And I'm just not seeing it from him. And do you know something? I want it so badly to work out for this kid, but I'm actually struggling for things to back him up with. I'm actually struggling, but I want it to work for him so badly. But, you know, let me know what you think in the comments. But with Erik ten Hag as well, you know, them substitutions near the end as well, bringing off Varane and Martinez. Bit baffled by that one, but
desperation.
But 9 times out of 10, all the substitutions that Erik ten Hag makes in the games, it always works. Every time he makes subs, it affects the game. It goes on, and we win the games if we're drawing or we're getting beat. So you can't have a pop at him. He's tried something today and it didn't work. He needed to do something because it just wasn't working with the players that he had on the pitch. So, yeah, just a bad day all round at the office. And
well, let's just all dust ourselves down. Let's hope United can do it and come back on Wednesday against Brentford and get a positive result. So get your comments in, smash the like button, please subscribe and press that notification button for the next video what comes out. Listen, dust yourself down. It's been a terrible, terrible day. But hey, we'll come back. Thank you.